Hello everyone, Orky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So very shortly, in the next month or so, we're going to get LUTFI, the second prince. We've seen him since the Spiral of Destinies, the initial Spiral of Destinies, and yeah, he's been with us for quite a while. Welcome, my friend. And I think this is a good time to really look at LUTFI because we know that Aisha is coming next. And I think a big decision that everyone has been making is, whether to pull for Aisha, whether to skip for her, who is LUTFI, what does he even do, and you also need to make sure that you have enough for SP Inanna, right? So this is a good time to go into a more deep dive into LUTFI, what he does, what he brings to the team, right? We don't know when exactly he'll come. The devs are just changing up the banner schedule compared to the CN version, so it'll just be a surprise, right? So let's have a look at his trait. So, and big thanks here to Dio for letting me borrow his account to look into all these characters. So let's see, 1 star. At the start of turn, locks onto 3 random enemies within 3 tiles and removes their alert status. Like, this is really unique, but it's not something that we really have trouble with that often. Like, there's only so many enemies that does alert, but it's a nice bonus, right? That's not the main thing we're sort of focused on. And then each debuff inflicted on the target before attacking increases the character's attack by 5% up to 20%. The 4 debuffs get the maximum value after casting a support or debuff skill to the enemy. For each debuff the target has, inflicts life loss equal to 5% of physical attack, up to 15% of physical attack for 1 turn. Can be triggered up to 4 times per round. We kind of need a bit of like debuffs on the enemy, 3 debuffs, 15% physical attack, and just the multiple triggers. Yeah, let's have a look at the other stars. So 2 star locks onto 3 enemies within 4 tiles. So it changes from 3 tiles to 4 tiles here. And then on 3 stars, we get our attack. So there's just a base attack increase of 5%. And then there's a new effect, right? When receiving planning, its duration is reduced to 2 turns. The planning, it's a debuff gained after using checkmate or decoy skills, not use the above skills while having this effect. So that's like a debuff on LUTFI. Like we'll be able to see all this in action very shortly. And then now it's up to 30% to increase the attack for every debuff. So 6 debuffs that we're looking at, and we're still doing the life loss based on 5% of physical attack, up to 25%. So 5 debuffs to inflict the maximum life loss, still 4 times per turn trigger. The 3 star is a big breakpoint here on LUTFI. 4 stars, so the alert cancelling is up to 6 tiles, and now we can inflict 1 random level 2 debuff lasting for 2 turns, and planning is reduced to 2 turns there. So that was still the same at 3 star, and then 5 star is the big change. Attack increased by 10%, still the 6 tile, still the 1 random level 2 debuff. Okay, and then planning has changed. Duration is reduced to 1 turn. At the end of the turn, additionally recovers 1 energy. So that's actually changed there. And now it, for each debuff, the attack increases up to 40%. So what are we looking at there? 8 debuffs to maximize this. And then the life loss, 35% is the maximum. So 7 debuffs. Like, we really have to see this in battle to understand its effects. And then LUTFI's base skill, all's fair in war, lasting for 1 turn. So it's a buff, 3 energy costs, gains 1 dodge. Upon triggering dodge, teleports to the attacker's back, dealing 100% physical damage, and gains dodge again for 1 turn. Right? Pretty interesting skill there. And LUTFI's skills are very complex, so let's have a look at them one by one. So rank 1, left side, Extreme Edge. A single target attack deals 150% damage. If target is in an injured state, Crit and crit damage is increased by additional 30% when attacking, ignoring assisting cover. The nice damaging skills, HP percentage. I mean, it's just pure damage, right? Pure damage, pure crit. And then right side, we have a summon bodyguard. So summons a bodyguard. Only one can exist at a time. Can be used up to 2 times per battle. So this summons like it was like an outlaw guard, like just basic skills. Just think of it like similar to Inanna's guard sort of thing. So I'm also here on Icy Fun, Super Miu Miu on Tap Tap. Big shout out to him as well. He has an amazing LUTFI guide. And yeah, he does say summon bodyguard on the right would not inherit LUTFI's current attributes. Calculate independently, similar to Inanna's bodyguard. He has its own counter-attack reaction, support passive. I think that's like an assist block, right? And then also has a knockback. Probably like just a standard leg slam. Oh, he shows the skills, right? Okay, yeah, that's just like a standard normal guard, right? And recommended to choose the right side, the guard at level 1. Left side is good DPS, but there's no need to use it on like a high star LUTFI after using the ultimate. It's more support than DPS, and DPS can be used by other characters. For example, in the new season 2 of Towerversity, he was used to help carry the cargo, and like it's an extra summon, right? And it's like something unique. The only other summon we have is like Inanna's bodyguard. So plus LUTFI's bodyguard. Look, where's Dantalion's bodyguard? All right, so Dio's chose the left side, but I recommend the right side. Like, I feel like we don't really need much DPS. Like, if you're running DPS, you run like the ultimate skill or something, right? And let's jump into the other skills. The rank 3, left side, it's an aura. So the auras don't really stack together with other auras, but it stacks with like the leader aura. So what I'm saying here is like lightning has this crit command aura, increases crit. So this is essentially a better version of that and overwrites it. So 20% crit rate and 10% crit damage for all allies within 3 tiles. So I think this is really, really solid for LUTFI. He just makes your units crit more, which is really strong for DPS. So you definitely want to get this crit aura. And then right side is alienation. At the end of the turn, locks onto 3 random enemies within 3 tiles, inflicting no assist, so they can't do assisting cover, assisting attack, assisting heal, assisting revenge. Attack 2 down. I mean, that's solid for like, you know, just getting less damage taken from bosses. And this is the epic one, Vulnerable 3 for 2 turns. This is replacing Nono Will. Like, one of the main reasons we're using Nono Will and DPS support setups is the Vulnerable 3. Like, it's an AoE. So you could say this might be actually worse because it's only inflicting 3 random enemies within 3 tiles. But yeah, it's a passive. Don't really need to do anything. We've got the attack down, no assist, and Vulnerable 3. So this one you definitely really want to get. Like, this is the like an easy source of Vulnerable 3 for your team. Yeah, and then Super Miu Miu went through all these details. Wait, why did say LUTFI the only character? I mean, Nono Will does it. They could trigger the effect of applying life loss in the trait. Yeah, and get both, yeah. And then on rank 5, we have energy recovery. When hit by active attack, damage is decreased. When receiving active attack, additionally recovers 1 energy. And we got disturbance. So this is a standard one. Like, we're definitely going for this one. Disturbance at the end of the turn, if no damage was dealt during this turn, inflicts 1 random level 2 attribute debuff and life loss equal to 40% of physical attack on 3 random enemies within 3 tiles of the character, lasting for 2 turns. If LUTFI's just doing like not attacking, then he's just like debuff, life loss, vulnerable, like he's just like a debuff machine. We're doing all the life loss damage. So that's why he's really strong in DOT setups. Yeah, so we'll just throw Luffy here, 5-star with like some of the skills that we talked about. Actually, I didn't include the crit, right? But you can see, like, literally start the turn, he flicks his hair, does the debuffs, level 2 debuffs there, has an attack 2, and he just literally just keeps stacking debuffs. Like, yeah, and end of turn we'll cast those, and then do no damage, we'll cast even more debuffs, yeah? Inflicts one random, that was that one. And then we'll end the turn and yeah, inflict a bunch more. Actually, I think they're gonna die before I take a turn, right? Yeah, 1041, 1043. Literally all die. Okay, so I brought a slower unit. Let's have a look at these debuffs here. You know, passive skill, life lost, block assist, vulnerable 3, life lost, life lost. Yeah, just the debuffs keep stacking and they just take so much damage. Like, let's give Luffy some gear and jump into this stage. Just have a look at his, like, bunch of debuffs and everything. All the DOT, all the debuffs, and then, like, just literally just stand by. And then just see them. I wonder how much damage they'll take this time, because we did gear Luffy with some gear there. Yeah, Tiden with some debuffs. And this is like Luffy not using skills, right? And then how much damage? Okay, standby. 3.5. Oh wait. 3k. Oh, Luffy died. 5.3. Okay, everyone died. And then I did showcase his base skill, which is all fair in fight. All's fair in war. So he gets his dodge, right? And then he still casts those debuffs because he didn't do any damage. Yeah. And then just watch him dodge. Dodge. Does an attack. And there was a DOT. He has another dodge, so... but he's just gonna die, right? Yeah, GG. Let's look at the rank 7 skills. So, Luffy does bring in the Leader's Aura for all Alacrity allies in battle. 10% attack, defense 20, so that's the base. And when actively attacking or casting support and debuff skills, if the enemy has 3 or more debuffs, the character's attack is increased by 18%. That's really, really big. And this essentially is replacing Cole's aura, yeah? Like, can we just finally dump Cole? I mean, it's still nice crit and crit damage. The potentially can run both, but yeah, Luffy's definitely a lot more relevant now with Alacrity. And then it gains Master Strategist, which is a buff. Outside of character's turn, attack is increased by 18%. So really solid out of turn damage there. And so we're definitely choosing left side rank 7, right side decoy. So we've used this skill like in the Spiral Destinies version. That gathers all enemies within 3 tiles of the character to the surrounding area, inflicts move down, block attack skills for 1 turn. Character also gains decoy that cannot be targeted by enemies affected by, still affected by AoE environmental damage, and also can be locked onto. Attack is increased by 30%, removed after an active attack. And when the effect ends, receive planning, so debuff after casting, so you can't spam the skills as much until he gets to 5-star. And Special Miu Miu has done a bit of a deep dive into the leader aura. So it says it needs active attack or active release of skills with support and debuff tags. So traits, passives cannot trigger it. Prerequisite is when actively attacking. The enemy has 3 or more debuffs. The when here actually refers to before actively attacking, or so they have to have 3 debuffs before you trigger the skill. So planning can only be attained after the action is over. 15% is calculated at the moment of attacking or releasing support and debuff skills. The physical DPS in all rounds can only benefit from 18% attack increase. I'm a bit confused. Wow, okay. I feel like I need to like more thoroughly test what's going on with these when I actually have Luffy to play with. But Luffy is essentially here to like look fancy, right? So, oh, okay, I see what they mean. Like, we have to cast a skill to gain this 18%, but if we cast the skill, we don't trigger this disturbance because we're doing damage, yeah? So we need to do like a non-damaging skill, trigger everything. Like, he just flicks his hair and like just does a bunch of debuffs, yeah? If we do the decoy here, and then we do a bunch of debuffs there. Okay. Now let's have a look at all these debuffs. Taking a bunch of damage. Life loss. Life loss. And Tiden as well. And then Luffy has the planning, right? Or did that, because planning is reduced to 1 turn. So if you have a non-5-star Luffy, when you use checkmate or decoy, so when we're using decoy, we see planning, which lasts for 3 turns. So basically what this means is this skill doesn't happen every turn. The base effect is 3 turns. And then at 3 stars, this changes to 2 turns. And then at 5-star, this reduces to 1 turn. So then the decoy skill you can spam it every single turn, essentially, right? So if we just stand by, see all the DOT happen on enemies. Yeah, they can't attack. And then they're taking the DOT damage. So Luffy's essentially invisible, right? And then we can cast wait. Why is it 3 turns? Decoy. Oh wait, I'm reading it wrong. So decoy lasts for 3 turns. After decoy ends, then we get planning. So what this will mean is we can spam decoy after the decoy effect ends. So it just remains invincible. Oh, well, they can AoE damage us. So yeah, Luffy's just the master of like the stalling and being invisible, still doing the DOT. Okay, it's finally over. Decoy, planning. Yeah, planning's for 1 turn there. So after using decoy, it's like 3 turns of being like invisible essentially. And then we have the turn after where this expires, and then we get the planning. So 2 turns of being vulnerable, and then we can cast decoy again. And I guess if we really want to just tank, we can change to all's fair in war and gain the dodge. Okay, let's have a look at his other skill. We're still on rank 7. Okay, after decoy, we have rank 9. Discover check. Basic attack. Single target attack deals 100% physical damage. Inflict 2 random level 2 debuffs, lasting for 2 turns. If the enemy triggers an attack during the turn, performs a dodge, and then pursuit, dealing 40% physical damage. And Luffy moves back. Okay. Interesting. It doesn't knock back, but he moves back. But he dodges back. And this is interesting. I'm just showing a replay by Special Miu Miu. It dodges the barrel explosion. Oh, the crystal, right? the crystal that KOs the whole team. So literally just attack this one. And he dodges the explosions twice. 3, 4. And he's like, nothing can kill me. And then for discover check, when you're attacking an enemy with like a strike back reaction skill. Like look at this. I did discover check. We dodge that. We do the pursuit attack. And then we move 1 square back. A really interesting skill to have. And then right side we have hidden peek. Basic attack debuff, steals 3 buffs on the enemy, inflicts 1 random level 2 and life loss. So just like extra DOT damage. Both of these are really solid skills to have. And yeah, the right side basic attack is interesting. Label debuff, can't cause damage, cannot trigger SP Sophia's joint attack, Homer's bird attack, cannot trigger the act again or pursuit order, but can trigger the enemy's assist defense. Okay. But then like LUTFI skills work on it. It can trigger the effective. Yeah, so choose both. Very interesting. A debuff basic attack, which doesn't do damage. Just cast debuffs. And then rank 11 is the big ultimate skill. So we have checkmate. Teleports behind the enemy, deals 100% AoE damage 4 times to random enemies within 2 tiles. If attacking the same target, damage is reduced by 50%. Crit and crit damage increased by 50%. And the character receives planning lasting for 3 turns. So yeah, stopping us from doing like the spam, right? And then we have game breaking flame. This is essentially the burning grenade. 2 stacks of ignition. So this is like Luvata's ignition, like type of life loss. All enemies within 1 tile turns target tile into burning and lasts for 2 turns. So better than like a burning grenade because you get 2 stacks of ignition life loss. And then we have the rank 13 skill, HP and piercing damage reduced by 10%. Okay. And I guess if you want to play LUTFI with like DPS checkmate, the main issue is like even though this is a lot of damage, okay, I need energy to spam that. Can we get both of these in here? I don't think so. They're not like within proper range. Alright, let's just kill 1 enemy with checkmate. But even at 5-star, after checkmate, he goes into... He gets the planning debuff, right? But he has to like rest a turn. So every DPS is like a 2-turn attack, even if he has enough energy for it. Yeah, like even if I give LUTFI enough energy, he still has that planning debuff. Even if I use Inanna to act again, it cannot be used when having planning. So that's the issue with LUTFI being yeah, so what I was saying is like can't use the planning, and then his DPS is like once every 2nd turn sort of thing. Like he could do his like life loss, physical attack and everything, still spams his like skills. But yeah, it's just not really a full on like DPS. Dies to the DOT, and then now he can do the checkmate DPS again, right? Technically it's like what, 400%, right? Getting the crit and everything. Big damage, but then he needs a turn cooldown, and there's no way around it. And that's pretty much it for LUTFI. I guess the good thing is we do get the Blade of Stratagem, which does increase the physical attack, attacking enemies with debuff, so you can easily get that crit damage, and the 16 physical attack out of the character's turn. And Special Miu Miu does go into a bit more details here. Yeah, all single target attacks, hits 1 unit at a time, benefit from high ground and back attack because it's essentially range damage. settle in real time and independently. It benefits from enemies going into injured and everything because it's 4 separate attacks. The list, okay, so roster can trigger Magician. Each attack will settle the damage increase based on the number of hits. And Void Stab gets the buff from Void Stab. Doesn't mean the damage is reduced by 50%, but the skill multiplier is reduced by 50. Back attacks increase damage by 30 when doing a single enemy. Checkmate is a big move with a multiplier of 250. 30% increased damage, 50% crit hit, 50% crit damage. All lives aura. What's that? Oh, he means Luffy's critical hit and damage aura. Yeah, and then that's a upgrade of the burning grenade. That does not match Luffy. I mean, we should be looking at getting Luffy's signature, right? Because it's epic and really built for Luffy. But yeah, they're saying if you want to play DPS, can use Void Stab. Otherwise, the Newborn Blade. Yeah, according to rumors from the international server, Luffy's special weapon is likely to be launched. They can consider bringing the special weapon. Equipment, you can use the Disaster Bottle to apply debuffs or just general attack trinkets like Shield of Justice, Kia's Cloak, which we still don't have, Hourglass, the Wanderer's Cloak, Fruit Lens. Definitely running Sword and Shield. And Taro can run Magician, Judgment of Justice, Judge's Redemption. Judge Taro can also... Oh, that's all it takes me out. Judgment can also trigger the life loss, which is really nice. And yeah, different skill setups, right? So we got our check skill, basically the same reaction we all do. And then we have the aura, the checkmate skill, and then the crit aura. Yeah, so just the different ways of playing Luffy. I don't think you will really get the other reaction for Luffy though. So mostly it's either you go DPS or you go like dot spam with like everything, or you can also run for pure dot, you can bring the Luffy's grenade skill, right? Yeah. And then he went through a bit of a summary. Yeah, good at doing continuous DOT damage. Also can be like a sub DPS physical damage, and suitable for like positioning. And yeah, it's very, very strong. Yeah, like Luffy is definitely a really, really solid unit to have. A must pull. Like even if his dots don't do as much damage later on, when he does get like eventually power crept, he's still in there for the auras. Like he has his Alacrity aura, he has his Vulnerable 3, he has his crit aura. Like these things don't go away. Like he's first a support, then a DOT, then like a sub DPS. There's like, you could play him like in at least 3 different ways. And that's why he brings so much to the table and why we're recommending him as a must pull. And yeah, going through the stars, definitely hitting like 3 stars to reduce the duration of planning and, you know, just make his skills a lot better, getting the increased damage from life loss, increased attack. And then 4 stars is really recommended for just doing the random level 2 debuff. Really adds on to Luffy's skills and his kit. Also helps out your allies. Getting a 5-star for the extra DPS, I don't think is really worth it. Like 5-star is nice. It's just nice. Nice to have. Getting the energy reduction. Planning is reduced to 1 turn. But still, it's like he becomes vulnerable for that like for that full turn, and it's like even if it's to goes down to one turn, he can't spam his like DPS skills and everything. He still has that cooldown, which just makes him a bit more clunky to use, like DPS wise. Yeah. Anyway, that's my final thoughts on Luffy. I think it's something that you really should aim for. Definitely save up for Luffy. If you have to skip Aisha, then so be it, right? So be it. But you definitely want to have enough to get SP Nana. The SP Nana is #1 priority. Luffy is second priority. And Aisha, yeah. If you have to skip her, then it is what it is. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.